Hello, this is Dr. Ben Miller here, and this is going to be the third episode of my running education series. If you have not watched the previous two, the first one was on strength training and running, and then the second one was on characteristics that make runners strong, such as VO2 max, lactate threshold, and running economy. I encourage you to watch those two videos as well. They're on my YouTube channel. If you follow me on Twitter, they're on there as well. Today, we're going to talk about recovery. This is one of the most important topics that we can talk about when we talk about distance training for endurance sports and, in particular, distance running and the importance of recovery. But with this topic, there's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of misconceptions are out there, and a lot of these misconceptions, unfortunately, are held by a lot of coaches, by a lot of elite athletes, and by a lot of athletes that are really running well, don't quite understand the idea of recovery and what goes on. So I wanted to do an episode on that. Now, one of the myths I want to get cleared up right away is this idea that some people have that there are ways to speed up the recovery process from a workout. You cannot do that, okay? You cannot speed up the recovery process. I want to make that very clear. The truth is, and I'm going to read that word for word, and I don't like to read word for word on a screen, but for this I am because it's so important that we understand this. Recovery is a critical part of working out. You want to follow? Allow your body to recover fully so you get the greatest adaptation from the workout. Proper nutrients, rest, hydration, and adequate time will allow your body to get to homeostasis. What will allow your body to get to homeostasis? Nutrition, proper rest, hydration, and adequate time are the best ways to get your body to homeostasis, which is where you want to get to. When I talk to a lot of runners and even a lot of elite runners, they seem to have this idea that the goal is to do a hard workout of some sort, recover as quickly as possible, then do another hard workout, recover as quickly as possible, and do another hard workout. They seem to have this idea that there's a way out there to speed up recovery and that it's to their benefit to speed up recovery and to stack as many hard workouts as you can. Okay, that's the wrong idea. Now, I'm not going to blame them per se because this is something that gets marketed to us all the time, right? We have all these little recovery gadgets. We've got the massage gun, we've got the foam roller, we've got the hydro boots now, where you stick your legs in these hydro boots and it gives your legs a little massage, and it's supposed to improve circulation, something that's going on inside of your blood vessels, right? How can that happen? We've got, the day and age of take a big cold water or take an ice bath, right? We've got all these things that are marketed to us. And people tend to believe that these things are going to work and they're going to be effective because people always want to get any edge that they can get. But here's the truth. Nobody recovers better today than they did 100 years ago. Okay, let me repeat that. Nobody recovers today better than they did 100 years ago. We have to have a better understanding of recovery to really understand how it benefits training. I always like to say, ride the recovery wave. Recovery is part of the process of getting more fit. It is not a hindrance to training. Okay? People, athletes, and coaches sometimes feel that if their athletes aren't working out, if they're not doing something, then they're getting behind. And it's like the old saying that if I'm not out working out, then my competition is, and they're getting better and I'm not. Well, with endurance sports, we can't think like this, okay? That might be a good type of thinking for basketball and soccer and team sports. You could always be doing something, even if it's studying film of some sort, right? But in distance running and endurance sports, that's not the case, okay? There is a proper time to recover and rest, and that's okay. Not saying that you can do that 7 days a week, but taking a day or two and allowing your body to rest will actually pay huge dividends in the long run. But a lot of athletes have this idea that they can be doing something. And I always like to point out that when I go to races, triathlons, for example, and you get there, and if, let's say, the race is at a hotel and everybody's staying the night at this hotel, or a lot of people are, you'll see people out riding their bikes. You'll see people out swimming. You'll see people doing all this stuff the day before the race. When the truth of the matter is, there's nothing you're going to do the day before your race that's going to make you more fit for the race. Now, I understand, testing the water temperature, taking a look at the bike course and all that, but there's really nothing you're going to do physiologically that's going to improve your race. Just want to check to make sure that we're still connected here. Looks like we are. Awesome. So ride that recovery wave. And sometimes you can't always plan exactly how long you need to recover, right? You might think you only need 1 day when you really need 2 days. Or you might not be feeling it when you have a scheduled workout on Wednesday, so you have to take an extra day. That happens, and we want to play that day to day as well. So let's talk a little bit about what goes on when we do a hard workout. So the idea of stress, recover, adapt is a simple concept. Basically, we challenge our body, we stress it out, we give our body time to recover, and then our body bounces back and gets stronger, okay? This is true for muscular strength improvement and cardiorespiratory improvement. Now, the amount of time you need to recover is dependent upon your activity, right? If you do push-ups, for example, you might be fully recovered by the next day. But if you do a hard run, you might need a couple of days to fully recover from that. So what goes on is you get these microscopic muscle fiber tears that happen. And that's what you're feeling. It's not lactic acid. It's not acid in your blood. It's microscopic fiber tears that happen. And you need those tears to rebuild and regenerate, and they'll regenerate stronger than they were before, okay? But the key is nutrition, rest, and time. There's no shortcuts here. Nutrition, rest, and time. Recovery is an innate process. It takes place in your body. It's part of your body's natural defense mechanism, right? There's nothing you're going to do to speed that up. It's what I like to call the innate intelligence of your body. Your body knows what to do to put itself in the best possible position, and that's exactly what's going on. The greatest adaptation to the workout happens when you get the complete recovery, when you completely recover. The slingshot analogy basically is that to fire that slingshot as far as possible, you have to get it back as far as possible so that you can sling it and it goes the farthest. If you just shortchange that back and you just maybe go halfway, it's not going to fire as far. And this is a good graph that kind of illustrates the stress recovery adapt idea here. Let's say your fitness level is there, right where my cursor is. When you stress your body out, you're actually less fit right after the workout. Then your body has to take time to recover, and it builds up, and that's the adaptation phase. And that's now your new ability. You've now created a new homeostasis of strength or cardiorespiratory fitness. Then once again, you stress your body out, and then you recover, and then you bounce back higher. Now this graph makes it very simple, but that's pretty much the idea of what's going on. But if you do a workout when you're right here, okay, you're not going to get this rise. You got to let your body rise up there. So you can't be too quick with those challenging workouts. Now, one of the myths that we're going to focus on today is this ice bath idea, and the idea that taking an ice bath will speed up recovery. And that's actually not true. What goes on with an ice bath is, the truth is, it actually desensitizes muscle fiber damage. It may make you feel better, but will reduce the adaptation you get from the stress. In other words, yes, the ice bath does decrease inflammation, but you don't want to decrease inflammation. You want that inflammation to be there so that you recover at a higher level. That's the key thing. Remember that inflammation is all part of the innate intelligence going on in improving your fitness. The history of cold water immersion became popular in the 1970s in Japan, in particular for MS and arthritis. The Europeans caught on in the 1990s. Then it was believed to help soothe muscle soreness in athletes. And it's been around for a while, and it's pushed on a lot of athletes and in getting athletes to recover faster. Now, if you want to take an ice bath, there's a couple times when it might be effective, and that is if you're doing a bunch of events and you don't have a lot of turnaround time. For example, if you're in tournaments, if you're a soccer player and you're playing in a tournament, you got 2 games on Saturday, another game on Sunday, you may benefit from an ice bath late on Saturday, because then it might make your muscles feel better for Sunday, right? You're not trying to build fitness. You're just trying to feel as good as possible for a game. Or if you're a track runner and you've got multiple races going on, okay? But there's a lack of evidence to support the use of ice bath or cold water immersion during the preparation phase of regular training week. You want to let your body do what it's meant to do. 2 main theories have been proposed for the use of cold water immersion. It enables athletes to perform subsequent training sessions with greater overall training load. That's one of the beliefs. and then it decreases adaptations to training due to reduction in the anabolic pathways. So ultimately, again, you risk not getting that full adaptation if you take ice baths regularly. And there's more information on that. There are risks to taking the ice baths, which are hypothermia, constricts blood vessels, which you certainly don't want when you're trying to heal, right? You don't want your blood vessels restricted, and it may make stiff muscles even worse. So if you got stiff muscles in your legs, it could cramp up. So in a nutshell, yes, it can help speed up recovery by reducing adaptation, but that would be counterproductive to the process of training. It stunts the signaling for adaptation and could make the blood vessels restricted, which would make the natural repair and recovery slow. So you probably don't want to be doing ice baths on a regular basis. Thank you for listening to that, and hope you learned something. Good luck out there.